I'm here to tell you that the 2-litre engine is plenty enough in this car. Surprisingly, it still feels peppy as you drive. It feels very peppy. It's got a lot of get up and go when you hit the accelerator. Alright, you beautiful people, welcome back to 2 to 4 Wheels ZA. Today we are driving the Jeep Wrangler. This is the Rubicon. I have not driven a Wrangler before. I have been off-roading in a Wrangler, but that's very different to driving it daily and reviewing the car, right? So that is what we're doing. We're just turning on the, what do you call it? The air purifier. I don't know. A lot of people don't actually use that little feature in the car that recirculates the air and cleans it up. Instead, you're just sucking in fumes from other cars, which is not cool. So use that button. This is a very interesting car. You know, you see a lot of butts and guys with muscles and stuff driving in Jeep Wranglers, and then they put the bigger wheels and they do the lift and it becomes this monstrous car, and you're wondering, what are you compensating for, brother? What is the compensation here? So I'm driving a stock standard version of the vehicle, and traffic lights aren't working here. And the car feels high enough. I feel very high off the ground. I feel higher than most cars, and I don't even have a lift. I've got the standard lift, I've got the standard wheel size, and I still feel big and high. So I don't quite understand the fascination. These guys are doing a roadblock here, a major roadblock, just to collect money. You know the story, you know how they roll. So I really don't see the need to upgrade the suspension and go higher, give it a lift and put bigger wheels and be riding like freaking 2 meters high off the ground. I think it's very unnecessary, because even climbing into this with the way that it is, you kind of have to climb. You don't just hop in, you climb into the car, literally. So the difference with this Jeep, I mean, obviously design wise, things have not changed. The Jeep still looks like the Jeep. You take, I don't know, you can go back through the years, they really haven't changed much. It still just looks the same, and it's got that iconic Jeep shape. Even the gear lever here has the Jeep symbol on it, which is quite cool. What's changed now, the biggest change, is the engine. So this thing previously came with a big V6 engine, which was very thirsty, and a lot of people complained about that. A lot of people did not like that feature in that part of the car where it's just a gas guzzler. Now Jeep was like, okay, cool, we're gonna give you a 2-litre engine, 4-cylinder, petrol, right? Previous one was petrol, it was a V6 petrol. So this is a 2-litre T, and it's quite interesting because I have been looking forward to driving this and sampling the 2-litre. I mean, it's a big car with a 2-litre engine, so you would naturally assume that there would be some deficiencies in power and it wouldn't ride or perform the way that you would expect it to, right? This has what, 200 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque, which is honestly not much, but what can you expect from a 2-litre engine, right? I'm here to tell you that the 2-litre engine is plenty enough in this car. Surprisingly, it still feels peppy as you drive. It feels very peppy. It's got a lot of get up and go when you hit the accelerator. And there's been no time when it's felt underpowered or as if it's struggling to carry its load. It just doesn't feel that way. It feels very, very peppy and constantly good to go. So that obviously comes down to tuning and how they've tuned the engine. I would like to believe that all of that power and torque is available pretty early on in the rev range, so that's what kind of makes the car flow the way that it does and move the way that it does. I'm on the highway now, so it's probably going to be a bit difficult for you to hear me because we are driving with thick ass wide tires this big, so there's a lot of road noise in here and I can hear it myself. The other thing that makes the interior and the cabin of this Jeep not very well insulated is because all the panels come off. So everything here can come off. The doors can come off pretty easily. I haven't tried to do it because it is winter, as you can see, dressed in beanies and hoodies. But everything can come off. The doors can come off. The side panels in the back can come off. The roof is an optional extra. So the standard roof does come off, or you can spec this thing with the sliding roof. So this roof slides all the way to the back, and it makes it basically roofless. So because of that, there's a lot of ambient noise coming into the cabin as you're driving, especially on the highway. but I've also experienced it off the highway where I feel like there's a window open and I keep hearing wind noises and it feels like there's some window open and I'm trying to close, but everything is closed and the roof is closed. So that's the downside to this. I'm pretty sure it looks way damn cool when you remove everything and take the doors off, and this would have been the ideal car to drive in summer. Like on a summer day, on a weekend, you take the doors off, you go somewhere, you go 4x4ing, or you go into the bush, whatever the case may be, or even driving in the city. Imagine seeing a guy driving in the city in a Jeep Wrangler without any doors or side panels or the roof. I think it just looks cool because you also get these, I don't know whether to call them roll bars, but you've got this structural integrity, this cage that encapsulates you, and that's obviously a safety feature. When you've taken everything off, you still got the cage, etc., in case the car rolls. But it really looks cool when the car is stripped down and you've just got this cage showing. I think it looks nice. The other thing I've noticed here is that there's a hole on the ground, which I assume should have a stopper to kind of close the hole. It's a drainage plug basically, and that tells me that this car is meant to go into water and properly go off-road. So if you're buying a Jeep Wrangler and you're not doing that with your Jeep Wrangler, I feel like it's a waste of a car. Now let's talk about the off-roadiness of the Jeep Wrangler. So you are getting everything you could ask for as an off-road person in this car in terms of features. It's got front and rear diff lock, you can do that. It's got off-road mode, you can see your suspension on the screen here, which way it is. You can go into 4 high and 4 low, etc. And like I said, I have been proper 4x4ing in this. Obviously I wasn't going to do it again now because I've done it before with supervision, because if you're not a 4x4 person and you decide to take a car like this, like proper 4x4ing, you're probably going to damage the thing. So I didn't want to take this out on my own without anyone guiding me and telling me take this line and not that line. But I can attest to its 4x4ing capabilities. The thing about it off-road, and it really surprises you, is how comfortable it is off-road. So the suspension here is really cushy and all bouncy and stuff. So when you off-road and you're going over bumps and crevices and all of that stuff, this thing just glides over everything, and it just, nothing feels like it. Nothing that I've driven off-road feels like this. And that cushy suspension obviously translates to everyday driving like I'm driving now. You can feel it. It does feel nice. The only thing about it is that if you're the kind of guy who wants to do any sort of spirited driving and, you know, turn fast, and, you know, I prefer to carry a lot of momentum into corners, and I hardly ever brake for corners. I just carry as much momentum as I can. This is not the car to do that with. You're going to feel like this thing is going to tipple over, or it's going to properly front wheel oversteer when you do that kind of thing. So not the car for you if you like to drive that kind of way. And I don't think the normal Jeep buyer or customer wants to drive this thing like that. So it's perfect for what it's supposed to do. So where every other manufacturer is just going screen and everything inside of a screen and basically deleting buttons and dials and mechanical things in a car, this has been such a refreshing car to drive, if I could put it that way. So refreshing. So here I'm getting my dials as they are, analog dials for speed, rev counter, and you still are getting a bit of a screen in the middle, but I'm still getting traditional dials. I'm still getting a traditional volume dial, aircon dial, buttons to turn the aircon on, as well as a proper gear selector and a normal handbrake down here. Like, poof, the simplest thing. They're not doing it anymore. The one thing that people want and ask for, car manufacturers are just not getting it right. So this has been really refreshing, because if I want to dial up my aircon, I don't even have to think about it. I just, as I'm looking at the road, I know where it is, I just dial it up. Oh, I feel cooler now. If I feel a bit hot, I, you know, lower the temperature, whatever it is, it's all just here. So props to Jeep for keeping this thing analog, and it kind of feels manly, if I'm being honest with you. It feels like I'm driving a man's car. I've got a thick gear selector, I've got a handbrake that I need to crank up, I've got another gear selector to go into too low, too high, 4H, whatever. It's all just there. So finally, let's talk about price. These things ain't cheap, as you can imagine. It is a Jeep, it is what it looks like. It does look expensive. So this comes in at 1.3 million rand. That's what you're going to be paying here. The other thing I forgot to address before I end this video is fuel consumption, right? That's a big thing. Because this is the 2 liter, you've got to know what the consumption looks like. So right now, I've done nearly 100 kilometers in this car, driving it daily up and down, and my average is 15.8 liters per 100. So I don't know, if you've owned a Jeep or you own the V6 Jeep specifically, that's what I'm talking about. Let me know what the fuel consumption for you looks like there, or what it's been like. But I feel like, I mean, at 15.8, that's, you might as well be driving a V6. That's like V6 fuel consumption. I don't know, let me know. If you enjoyed the video and found value in it, I would appreciate a big fat like. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to it. I really am trying to grow it, and I'm going to keep pumping content, car content, into this platform so that you've got something to watch and enjoy.